Welcome, everyone, to another Wednesday night, the fundamentals to gain inner peace with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. And here we are, Mitzvah Hashem, doing week number 6 of the course of the awareness journey. And we're doing the second half already, which is amazing. And we're going to check in a little bit, see how things are going. Thank you very much for all of those that shared feedback. And it's amazing to see how everybody has a different response and different things come up. And they're all valid. That's the important piece. Whatever it is, they're all valid, whatever comes up. So let's take a moment and get grounded before we start. Just take a deep breath and come back into the moment, come back into the here and the now where you are, and get grounded. You can put both of your feet on the ground and take a deep breath, becoming aware of how you feel, where you're coming from, what your day looked like. And then we turn inwards to feel, do I feel any feelings in my body? Usually we do, but we're not aware. We don't stop. So take a deep breath, turn inwards, and see how your body feels. Whatever it is, it's valid. You can feel it on your forehead, the eyes, your cheeks, the chest, your shoulders, your stomach, your legs, whatever it is, whatever you feel, you don't need to change it, just become aware. Beautiful. Okay, you can do this more than once. You can do this, you don't have to wait for Wednesdays, do it every day for a few minutes. Just important to become aware of where you are. If you're with us on the journey, with the course, then you're probably doing it hopefully twice a day with the breathing. It really helps you to become grounded. And then there are different things that come up. Just to share, just some ideas that people sent in. And this is something that happens when you do the breathing and you stop and you become present in the moment. You become aware of things that you weren't aware of, and especially those things that could irritate you, things that you don't like. And it could be till now you were able to push it away, not think about it so much. But now when we stop and we're in the present moment for more than a minute, do the connected breathing, we become aware. And during the day, we could become aware of things that maybe we don't like, things that in the past we were able to push away, but now we're seeing them and we're feeling them. So whatever it is, again, it's valid, whether it's at work or at home. So, the way that somebody talks to you or talks to somebody else, the way somebody else reacts, it makes us feel a certain way. And until now, we were able to blame, and we're slowly learning to be aware of ourselves, how we feel, turn inwards, and not react, which is amazing. Cravings to food. So that's also an awareness. Somebody mentioned that since they started the journey, they have cravings for chocolate. And if they didn't have it before, it's interesting, it only started now, but craving is also a feeling. So it's with all of the, feel where in your body do you feel it? And you'll see different things will come up. So you're aware of feelings, and we're learning how to sit with the feeling, breathe through it. We don't react based on how we feel, but it's a good example. We have a feeling, and then right away we react. There's no time in between, but by stopping, being aware, what does my body feel? And then I can make a conscious decision Or, should I take a piece or not? So that's amazing. So in the past week, the conscious response was, I am innocent. And we were connecting to our inner child, those feelings that we have. It's our inner child trying to tell us something, a message, a feeling that maybe we haven't been in touch for a long time. And like we mentioned, to do it with, understanding. Don't be hard on yourself, and slowly learn how to listen. Becoming aware of your inner child. Again, some people, it's a positive atmosphere, relationship, and you can hug, and it's like, wow, I've been waiting for you for so long. But many times it's not positive, and the inner child is shut down, doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want to discuss anything with you, because again, it could be many years that you haven't listened to it. So patience, stay there. When you have that feeling come up, just feel it and be there. And that's what it is, like a regular child. They throw tantrums. We have to learn how to be there on their page, what they're feeling, and listen to them. Even if you think they're wrong, don't tell them that right away. Don't tell them that you're just pushing them away again. Just listen and be there. So that's what last week was, by saying I am innocent. And some of you had a hard time, but with that line, just I am innocent. Who said? Maybe I was part of the problem. But again, we're going very deep, just telling our inner child, no matter what, at that age, it makes no difference. You are innocent. And whatever comes up, let it bring it up. Whatever feeling it brings up. And basically, that's what we're doing. We're integrating the emotions. The emotions that we had till now were unintegrated, put away somewhere, and we didn't let it out. We didn't listen to it. We don't know how to deal with it. And we think it's wrong, negative emotions. But now we're going to learn how to integrate those unintegrated emotions. And especially if it's been years that we might have shut down that inner child. Maybe even when we were 7 years old, we made a decision that emotional is not going to get me anywhere. Excuse me. Just emotions doesn't work. Just shut it down. But that's what we're discussing, those emotions, those feelings that come up. And now we're giving it some time. So it's sometimes very uncomfortable to sit with it because we don't know what to do with it. We want to fix it. We want to push it away. We want to cure it. But that's not what we're looking for. Just be there. And with patience, consistent, just by feeling the felt perception, just by feeling those feelings, listening, validating, so that we don't push it away. And now we're going to continue week number 6. And this is very exciting. And if you're still with us, it's amazing. Even if it's not perfect, there might have been days that you haven't done the breathing, but you're still doing it. You're continuing. You're not stopping. Because we're committed to continue. So find the time to do the breathing in the morning and at night, whenever it works. And that connected breathing in and out for 15 minutes, because that's the work. The conscious response for week number 6 is I integrate charged emotion. Basically, after doing all the work, again, starting off with the breathing, becoming aware, and then we see the messengers, we see the things that make us upset. Until now, we're pointing fingers, and slowly we're turning inwards. It has nothing to do with the person in front of me. It has nothing to do with the situation, even though it looks like, but that's triggering something inside of me. Something that's, my insecurity. It might make me feel a certain way that Could be I felt that way when I was young, and I don't want to feel that way again. I don't like that feeling. So it's bringing up the feelings that we have inside of us. It has nothing to do with the people around us. Again, yes, sometimes we need open communication to discuss certain things with people, coworkers, spouse. If you don't like a certain thing, you can discuss it. But we're becoming aware of it's really the way we see it, the way we feel it, and the story we tell ourselves about it. It's all about us, all about me. Turn inwards and see, how do I feel? What does it bring up for me? And you stay there, and slowly you can integrate those emotions. So this week's reading, there are 3 parts to the reading. The first one, integrating charged emotion. The second one is the mechanics of reactivity, to see what happens if you're not aware of this process that we're going to learn tonight and that we're going to read in the week number 6. So the mechanics of reactivity is how we react. And the third part is that tool that we're picking up in the past few weeks, picking up from this awareness journey, the emotional integration procedure. Basically, what we're doing is we're integrating emotions. We let the emotions come up, we're aware of it, and we integrate. Instead of pushing them away, suppressing, we integrate. We let it flow. It becomes part of us. We're not scared of it. So those are the 3 parts. So the tool of this week is the emotional integration procedure, which we can use in any time that we're in a situation that we don't like, a situation that it brings up emotions. This is the tool that we can always use. And it's based on the information that we learned till now. The interesting part is that it's not something that you have to do. It's more the awareness. We'll see in a few minutes, but it's just the awareness that we picked up the past few weeks by slowing down, by closing our eyes, by connecting to ourselves. That is the tool. Not trying to change anything, not trying to, control the environment, and it should work the way I want. If you don't like it, let's do this, let's do that, let's change it, tell them not to do it. That's not where we are. What it is the awareness, that slowing down, that breathing, become aware of the emotions that it brings up. And then we can integrate. So it's an amazing tool that you don't have to do anything. It's based on the awareness, the information that we're picking up. So the way he puts it in the book is, if you have a car in the garage and it's just parked there, what we did till now, the past few weeks, is we're reversing out of it and slowly we're placing the car on the road of life. It could be we're running away from certain things, suppressing emotions, things that we didn't like. But now we're slowly backing out. Take a deep breath. It might be hard. It's been many years. And we put the car on the road. And we're ready to drive on that road of life. And things come up. There's a lot of things on the road. So how do we accomplish it? First of all, with the breathing that we're doing. Just by that breathing, we become more present. We become more aware. We turn inwards to ourselves. And then by the reading that we're doing, the conscious response every week, and the reading. So breathing, reading, and then feeling. Then we sit and feel. The feelings come up, and we're not scared of it. We're not trying to change it. We're not trying to fix it. And that's basically how we take out the car and put it on the road, by the breathing, reading the information, and whatever feelings come up, we let ourselves feel And we could ask ourselves, how, when was the last time I felt this way? Is there a time in the past that I felt it? And you let it just be. You don't have to understand it. I do want to mention that there were some people that were telling me that the reading is a little bit hard. They don't understand everything in the book. So it's important that even if you don't understand everything, it's okay. It's okay. If you understand a little bit, and there's a piece here, a piece there that you understand, that's amazing. And maybe you'll do it again. But the main part of it here is the breathing, the conscious response, whatever you do pick up from the reading, and then you see what comes up. This is part of the process. No need to understand everything. So that's important before we continue. So up until now, with the reading that we did, so we're becoming aware of, number one, identifying the messengers, getting the message, and then feeling unconditionally. Right? Identifying the messenger is that thing that makes you upset, that setup, that thing that's in front of you that you don't like, that irritates you, makes you nervous, makes you angry, or whatever emotion it brings up. So those things bring up inside of you emotions that are unintegrated. They could be memories from the past, and that's the reflection. The memories, you don't have to know exactly what the story was, but it brings up something from the past. And something out there on this road that you're driving on triggers those memories. So we identify the messenger. We identify, this is something I don't like. This is something that makes me upset. And the next step was to get the message. What message? We ask ourselves, when was the past time I felt this way? What does it make me feel? Even if I don't know exactly what the story was, but what message is this telling me about myself? And then we feel unconditionally, even though it might be uncomfortable, sometimes painful. You stay there, hold on tight, keep on breathing, and you let the memories, the emotions come up, and that's feeling unconditionally, not to change it. We're not looking to change it. We're just learning how to be there and not be scared, so that eventually we don't react to our emotions. We can respond. We don't have to react. We can make a conscious decision. What do I want to do now? So let's talk about two examples, how you can actually use these 3 steps. You identify the messenger, you get the message, and then you keep on feeling. So one example would be somebody at work. In middle working, there are people around, you're doing your work, and you start feeling certain emotions. It might be some challenging interactions happening at work, and maybe with a coworker, and you're starting to feel something uncomfortable. Whatever the feeling is, again, this is, it's a personal feeling. You feel a little bit uncomfortable. So what's step number 1? You identify the messenger. So you become aware of this situation is making me feel uncomfortable. Whether it's a person or it's a task, it's making me feel uncomfortable. I have to make that phone call, and it's making me feel insecure. So that phone call is that messenger. And then we turn to see some introspection. What does it bring up? What does it make me feel? Maybe they don't understand what I'm doing. I'm not sure if they're going to accept my phone call, if I'm going to feel rejected. Beautiful. So by asking yourself questions, you become aware. You become aware of what emotions are bringing it up. What messages is it giving you? What's the message? So the first step was to become aware of what's making you feel this way, something outside, and then you turn inwards to say, wait a second, what's it inside of me? What's that message telling me about myself? Maybe that I'm incapable, it's not going to work out, it's a failure. And the next step is to just feel it. Feel it. You allow yourself to feel that uncomfortability instead of running away from it, instead of putting up, continue talking as if nothing happened. It's okay. You feel it and you let those feelings come up, and slowly but surely, again, it doesn't happen right away, but if after a while that you're not scared of the feelings, you let the feelings come up, it integrates, it becomes part of you, and it flows. This is something I do like, this is something I don't like, so you're not scared of it. So again, that first piece is to see from the outside, what's that thing that's making you upset? Second one is to ask yourself, what message is that telling me about myself? And the third one is to let it come up, let those feelings come up. It's okay, it's only a feeling. It could be hard, but continue breathing. You're there, you're not running away. Beautiful. Another example. You're in a social gathering. Maybe you went to a chasana, a meeting. There's a lot of people around. And you start feeling overwhelmed. You feel some anxiety, a little bit panicky. If this feeling comes up, you're not sure what it is, but there's a feeling. So here we go. This is an amazing time to do these steps. Number one is you're aware that you're in a place where this situation is making you feel this way. Okay, beautiful. So you become aware, you identify the messenger, the scenario, the story, and it brings up unintegrated memories, different things from the past. Beautiful. Now let's see step number two. What messages, what's the message this messenger is giving you? What message is it telling you about yourself? Well, maybe it reminds you of a time that things didn't work out when you were in a social gathering and you felt anxious. So it's something in the past that happened. Again, you don't have to know exactly what the story was. It doesn't have to be a story that you remember, but it's, you're slowly going back to a time that you might have felt the same way. And for those asking, why go back to the younger years? Why go back? Why go back to things that happened in the past? But the truth is, it's not something in the past. It's actually happening now. When you are in the present moment, you're feeling it. So it's something that you're feeling now. We do ask ourselves, because it does bring up a memory from the past, but that's not what we're working on. We're working on integrating the emotion now in the moment. So some people think it's something that happened in the past. It's something that I didn't like, but it's not for now. I don't have to think about it now. There's nothing to do about it. But the truth is, it's actually happening now. Like we discussed many times our emotions control the decisions that we make. And you think you're making a conscious decision to do this and not to do that. But if you think about it, you become aware there's a reason why you chose that. And many times it's because of a past scenario, brings up emotions. You don't want to meet that guy. You don't want to do that task you tried many times, it didn't work. So it brings up things in the past, but it's happening now. So that's step number two. Number one, you become aware of the messenger. Number two, the message. And the third one is you don't run away. Maybe in the past, you'd say, okay, I got to go. Take your keys and leave. I was just too nervous. I had to leave. I couldn't stay there. It was too hard for me. Or you tell yourself, no, I finished. I just, I met the people I had to meet. I was done. I just had to go. But that's if you're not aware, you don't want to be aware. It's too hard. But when we're learning to become aware of those emotions and we're not scared of them, we'll let it come up And yes, you might get red in the face and your hands are flushing and you're feeling your body, all those emotions. Yes, we don't like it. It's not comfortable, but we're okay. Isn't that amazing? And that's how we integrate. That's how we can integrate those emotions and let them come up so that we can continue life. We don't get stuck. So those are the two examples. And then we're going to have the third part of the reading is going to be the emotional integration procedure, which we'll discuss. But before that, in the reading, there's another piece. They call it the mechanics of reactivity. Of what happens when we react, when you're not aware of all of what we're doing, our journey, the breathing, you don't stop to feel. What usually happens is you usually react the same way every time this person makes you nervous. Every time you're in that situation, it all brings up the same memories, and your reaction are usually the same way. So basically, you're a victim to the situation, and you have no control. And every time you just react the same way. It's a story that you tell yourself. And then when you do look back, you feel sometimes guilty, regret, shame, because you're not really in control. What could you do? It's so sad that this is how you feel. And this is how you feel already for the past 10, 20 years. And this is what happens. And I get angry and I can't take it. And then you look back, I wish I wouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. You tell yourself a story about yourself. That's who I am. So I said it in a minute, but you'll see how the mechanics of reactive, why we react to situations. And what we're doing now is with the journey is we're stopping to react and slowly we respond by these three steps. And that's going to be the last piece of the reading, basically the emotional integration procedure, which you'll read and should be something they should understand. It's not so hard. And this technique you can use anytime that you're in a situation that you feel uncomfortable. It can be in a conflict with a different person. It can when it brings up different emotions. You use this technique, and again, it's not a tool that you actually do. It's an awareness that we're talking about. And slowly but surely, we start using it. You mentioned it's like starting to learn how to walk again. It doesn't happen overnight. You get up one day, you try it. It works a little bit. The next day, you try it again. And slowly, we learn how to be in control, to be in the moment, not to be scared of the emotions. Let them come up so you can integrate them. Wow. So it's not a lot of reading. It's 3 parts. And again, for those who are asking, you can email me. Again, this is part of the course. If you're new here, this is a 10-week course. We're doing now week number 6. And there's a reading for it. If you want to join the course or the reading, send me an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. And basically the conscious response, again, the conscious response for this week. Let me just see again. Just a second. I integrate charged emotions. Last week, the conscious response was, I am innocent. And hopefully after a few days, you're able to tell it to yourself, even though for some it's hard. But yes, that inner child, connecting to that inner child is innocent. That inner child is innocent, doesn't know much, and has nothing to do with him or her. So hopefully you were able to tell yourself, I am innocent. And now for this week, it's I integrate charged emotions. You can become aware of those emotions. And we're going to integrate it with the 3-step, with this technique that we're learning this week, with the emotional integration procedure. And it is amazing, again, to see the feedback from everyone. Again, anything that comes up, please share. Let me know how your journey is, how it's going, how you're doing on your journey. Even if you think it's negative, there is really no positive or negatives. It's just emotions coming up, and we're learning how to integrate. So thank you very much. That's it for tonight. And that's it for week number 6. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday night, week number 7. And it does get a little bit exciting because the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, there's one added thing which we'll discuss, basically going a little bit deeper. What could you do to get a little deeper? No, it's not breathing for a half hour. It's taking a warm bath or a warm shower before the breathing, and we'll talk about it. It just takes us to the next level of really relaxing and being in the moment, being able to slow down and not being scared of all of those stuff that come up. So looking forward. Thank you very much. Have a great night. And there were no time for questions now. If you have any questions, please send them to coachmenachem@gmail.com. And hopefully we'll get to respond. I'll see you next Wednesday night. Enjoy yourself with the breathing. Do the work. Continue. Thank you. Have a good night and a good week.